note possible. Number one thing you want to do is make sure you get a good down payment. 10% minimum. Obviously, if you can find 15 to 20%, a buyer with 15 to 20% down, yes, that's what you need. But make sure that your owner finance borrower has skin in the game. These are people who do not have good credit. They do not have a good track record. They cannot go get a conventional mortgage, so you need to make sure that you get a great down payment. I find that that's the number one thing determining the success of your owner finance borrower is, if they've taken their life savings to buy this house, they're going to make sure that their mortgage is paid. Maybe. Loan to value. Make sure that do not oversell that house. So, and this flies in the face of what a lot of other owner finance instructors, teachers will tell you. I look to buy a mortgage note. I need to make sure that the collateral that secures that mortgage note is adequate enough so if that note goes bad, that I can sell that asset and get all of my money back. So I sometimes see notes that come in and, guys are expecting to sell them, and I do a BPO appraisal and I use a third-party national group all the time. And sometimes those appraisals come back and they have oversold their property by twice. One of the last ones I saw, which was super bad, was 167% loan to value. Now, can you do that? Yeah, obviously, but you're not going to be able to, should you need to sell it down the road, you're not going to be able to do that if it doesn't appraise out. So make sure that you don't oversell your house. Typically, the highest I like to buy is around 80%. I'll go as high as 85, but I won't pay top dollar for anything over 80% loan to value. High interest rate, 9 to 11%. Make sure that, people are feeling that it's, they're overcharging these people. They cannot go get a mortgage. So if you sell it for less than 9% right now, you're going to have a hard time even selling your note at all. I've got notes coming in right now at 6.5 or 7. People thought they were doing a really good job with it, and they weren't taking advantage of these people. But in essence, they're also shooting themselves in the foot, because 9 to 11% is what we're looking for. Always use an RMLO, because your RMLO will tell you what your daily rate is that you can charge them, what they'll lock you in at. Right now, it's, for a 30-year fixed mortgage, it's 6 points over prime. So if you're going 6 points over prime right now, you're about 10.5% is what you can legally charge them and keep it as a qualified mortgage. So 9% is actually even a little bit below market right now. Realistic PITI. Make sure your PITI stays somewhere around what the neighborhood rent is for. Remember, you're taking these people out of the rental market, so you want to make sure that they're going to know what their neighbor is renting for and what they could rent that house for. So if they get in there and they realize, well, gosh, why are we paying for all these repairs, all of these things for the privilege of owning this house? If you are way above what that market rent is, you may have some issues there. Again, rents keep going up, so you can weigh that a little bit, but try to stay around a realistic PITI, which is principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, all in. All right, so our transaction example, if you've got a $100,000 house, it's worth $100,000, it appraises for $100,000. Your down payment is, and by the way, we're gonna go over how to maximize these, and the reason why I teach owner finance investors to break it into a first and second lien is because so they can sell it. They can still take 10% down and sell their first lien out and get rid of all of their purchase and rehab money. So that's what we're going to be talking about. It's a way to buy all of these notes and buy a lot of them and have no debt at the end. So your sales price is $100,000. Your down payment is 10% or $10,000, leaving to be financed $90,000. But note buyers can't buy over 80%. So that leaves, in this example, I did 75% just because it makes it a little more attractive. So in the first lien, you're going to finance it at $75,000. That should cover your purchase and your rehab for this owner finance investment. That way you can sell that and pay off all of your debt for acquiring these properties. So $75,000 at 10% interest for 30 years is $658.18 per month. Your second lien is what you're going to hold on to. That's at $15,000 at 10% interest for 10 years. Again, you can fluctuate these numbers any way you want to get the end result. This is $198 per month. So let's say $200 per month. I have investors right now doing 5 to 10 of these a month, just like this model. And so they end up with zero debt at the end of this. They take $10,000 down, and then they increase every one of these they do. They get to keep a second and make an extra $200 a month. So if you're doing 5 of these, that means every month you're making $50,000 in cash and increasing your salary, because every note that I pick up, I call it my salary raise. Every month you're increasing $1,000 a month, and that's in perpetuity for 10 years. So if you do this every month, you're out of your rat race job in even under a year. It depends on how much you want to make per month. Legal aspects. Go through this. I use professionals with everything that I do. I'm not a licensed realtor. I use those, okay? I'm an investor. I've never been a licensed realtor. Always use an RMLO, residential mortgage loan originator. I love Sarah Montez over at Texas Pride Lending. There's also Derek Housier. I mean, he's awesome. So there's a bunch of them out there that'll do it. They will make sure that you get your highest interest rate, your best note, and they will make your mortgage a qualified mortgage. If you don't use them, they're unqualified. And quite frankly, I don't pay as much for those. So always use that. Attorney. Yes, have a good attorney who knows how to put together notes, put together your paperwork. You should not be doing this yourself. All right? Make sure that there's some licensed professional behind you. And a note servicer, very important. I do not like people who self-service their notes. They are not doing it right. They're not even legal. And often, I mean, that will take the biggest hit if you're not using a third-party licensed note servicer. Quite frankly, I don't know why anybody wouldn't. Your borrower pays for it. Your borrower pays for all of this. They pay for the RMLO. They pay for the closing costs when you sell owner finance. And they're going to pay the $35 a month to have that note financed, and basically turns into mailbox money from you, and you do nothing. Title policies. I get title policies on every single note that I buy. So you can either do it up front, or when comes time to sell the note, if that's what you choose to do, you can keep them as well. But if you choose to sell it, yes, you can I will make you get a title policy when I buy it. Always record the warranty deed and deed of trust. This is Texas. Just because you have a warranty deed that's not recorded means nothing. You have still deeded that house to them. So they will show up and, show it. There's no point in not recording it. Also, make sure you record your deeds of trust. You wouldn't believe how many I find that they have a recorded warranty deed, but not a recorded deed of trust. And avoid land trusts and any trusts in general, because your homeowner cannot get insurance at a decent price, and they cannot get homestead properties. So we're going to run, I'm almost out of time, but that basically goes into everything. Note buyers look for high interest rate, 9 to 11%, low loan to value, 80% or less, a good down payment, minimum 10%, and seasoning. I can buy notes when they're 4 to 6 months old. That's it.